Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight I'm here to react to a video that Nikki Phillippi just uploaded. I had some thoughts, so if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so I know that I butchered their last name. We're just gonna call her Nikki because I have literally heard their last name pronounced 7 different ways. And at this point, it really doesn't matter. We know who she is and we know why we're here. She just uploaded this video an hour ago and my inbox was like, did you see this? You know, what do you think? What do you think? And so instead of watching it for myself, I figured I would just turn the camera on. Let's watch it together. I can give you guys my thoughts around this. To me, without hearing any of this, it seems like this is a YouTuber who was obviously relying on their full-time YouTube income and they need money, you know? So it's time to get back in action. Let's test the waters. Let's throw this video out there and let's try to plan our return. So we're gonna give her the floor. I'm listening to this video in its full context, so we're not going to take little, you know, bits and pieces and react to those. You know, I've definitely learned lessons when it comes to hearing things in their full context. So we're going to watch this video from beginning to end. It's 18 minutes. Hopefully this reaction is not an hour and a half long, but if it is, it is. We're going to let her have the floor, see what she has to say. Is it worthwhile? Is it manipulative? Is it a bunch of, you know, word salads? We're gonna find out. So let's get started. And by the way, before we get started, if you guys came across this video and this is the first video that you're seeing and you don't know who Nikki is or why I'm reacting to this video, she and her husband Dan put down their dog Bowser a couple months ago. It was in May, I think early May. I'm going to link my other videos in the description box of this video. If you are curious as to why the internet went up in flames when it comes to this couple, why people can't stand her, and why, in my opinion, I don't think that she's welcome back on YouTube right now with open arms. So either way, if you're confused, please see those videos first, then come back and watch this one. But I think most of us know who she is and why these feelings surround her. So let's get into it.
Hi guys. So it's so weird to be like, hi guys, because wow, hi, it's been a minute. And honestly, my corny, almost kind of tone deaf intro is so typical me. But if you've been watching my channel for any extended period of time, you know that not only do I have a really difficult time with intros, but I have a difficult time in general with hard emotions or negative emotions. And today I'm here.
Why is negative emotions in air quotes? Don't get it.
Here to you, or here with you, to talk about what has been going down the last couple of months, and really the elephant in the room, what happened the last time that I saw you guys, because it has been an absolutely insane 2 months for so many reasons. And, you know, obviously I'm sitting here in my car today filming. I haven't seen you guys since I was on the other side of the country because yes, we have moved since then. And you know, that's one of the things I wanted to tell you guys in this video. We have moved. We are no longer in Nashville, and all of that, the whole move was really, really crazy because of everything that unfolded in our previous video. So I'm gonna try to talk a lot less this time because this is my second time filming this video. And the first time I filmed it, maybe a week or two ago, I talked for an hour and a half. I talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. And it actually felt really good in some ways. I've been journaling and praying and thinking nonstop since all of this unfolded. Yeah, I just reflected.
Really journaling and praying. We know what you did. Let's, you know, I'm already annoyed.
everything. And so talking, I couldn't stop, and I gave a lot of details. And when I sat down to edit the video, I got about a half hour in, and I was just like, this is, it just didn't sit right. I was cringing at myself. And really, to be totally honest with you, it was this feeling of like, I'm bearing way too much of my heart. I'm sharing too many details of what has unfolded, and I realized I could do that in a lot more of a succinct manner. And so that's part of what I want to do today. I want to explain some of those things in a more succinct manner, but I also want to go over a couple.
Why don't you just talk about what's on your heart? That would have been much more genuine, even if it was a longer video. Talk about your actual real raw emotions. If that's what they actually were, even if the video was a little bit longer, don't put ads on the video, because then obviously people are going to say, well, you're only coming back because you need money and you know that this will get you some views. But talk it out. If this is your stage and your subscribers are, you know, people that listen to you and want to hear what you have to say, then why are you cramming it into a short video? Talk about your feelings. Explain to people what was going on. Show, show receipts, or, whatever, if you have to. Make this a comeback video that is worthwhile. I don't know. For me, I would never be in this position, because y'all know how I am. But if I was in this position and I was coming back with a video, I would allow all of my emotions to roll. And I wouldn't be saying negative emotions and putting it in air quotes. I would talk to my audience from my heart. And if I talked for an hour, then I talked for an hour.
Of just kind of things from the last video before we move forward, specifically because I have some family members that really felt like I need to clarify a couple of things. So that's kind of part of what I want to do today.
So she doesn't care about her subscribers or people on the internet or fellow dog owners or dog lovers who saw what they did was wrong with Bowser. She is going to clarify things because her family told her to do so, not because it was weighing heavy on her conscience or because she owes it to the people that built her channel, or she owes it to other people who love dogs, or are just animal lovers. She's doing this because her family said she needs to clarify a couple things.
In that video, when I talked, a big part of what I talked about and what I wanted to make succinct, there's a lot of things, but a big part of that was, like I said, how painful this has all been, because putting Bowser to sleep, as we said in that video, was the hardest thing we've ever done in our lives, both of us. And that was so difficult in and of itself. When we sat to film that video, we had been crying for 3 days straight. And what was fascinating about all of that, along with a ton of other things, was this realization of, like, yet again, remembering how do I word this? That I shouldn't be judging other people, because so many people's judgments of us and where our headspace was and our heart and our decision making and everything was just so inaccurate. It was jarring, and it was very jarring for something. And a lot of you get this, and in a lot of ways, this video is to you guys, to our friends, the people that know us, that have been following us for a long time. And honestly, that is why that video turned into an hour and a half video, because I was just picturing talking to you guys, and the amount of, I have gotten so many messages from those of you that believe us, support us, love us.
Listen, the whole vibe of their announcement video was very much, Nikki was over here having her coffee cup, and it was very nonchalant. The body language guy, I forget his name, he reacted to their video and he put it all out there. Their video was not, it was not presented in a way where this is a very tough decision for us, and we've been crying for 3 days and we did everything that we could. There were things in that video that did not line up. They did not reconcile. They did not make sense. The body language showed it. And on top of it, then you go back and review their other vlog footage, and you can see that the things that they were saying in that video just did not make sense based on all of the other years of vlog footage that is on YouTube.
You know, don't want to burn us at the stake, all of those things. I've gotten so many messages. I haven't even been able to read them all.
I don't know who's trying to burn them at the stake. I know that there were a lot of very passionate opinions and a lot of, fellow animal owners and lovers that had fire in their hearts for Bowser, because the proof was there. The Humane Society confirmed that they never talked to Nikki or Dan, and there was, based on what we knew to be true, they did not put in an effort in order to help him have a good last few years of his life. He was taken out of the equation once he became to be an inconvenience, essentially. You know, they were moving. They obviously already moved now. And it was just a whole festival of BS. And everything was tied together. And that's why people were so passionate and so irate at Nikki and Dan. I don't know what in their minds made them think that putting out that video was going to produce any other response than exactly what it did. I don't understand where they thought it was going to go. Did they think that people were just going to be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. No, because all of the facts lined up. It made no sense whatsoever. And they came out with this video announcing this, expecting something completely different.
So even though, as everyone saw on public display, that a lot of people are very upset with us, did not agree with us, and then decided to tear into our character online and twist a bunch of other things, even though that is a reality and has been...
Character? You mean like being neglectful dog owners that did not take the proper steps in order to try to remedy the situation, or try to, rehome their dog, when there are so many organizations out there that work with aggressive dogs. Aggressive, I'm going to put aggressive in air quotes, because all of the vlog footage that we saw never saw Bowser be aggressive. In fact, I went about a month ago and looked at more of their more recent vlog footage from Nashville, and you can see Bowser in the same room as their son, walking around totally unbothered, couldn't care about the kid, just didn't care. He didn't care. And there is so much footage to show that he didn't care.
Crazy. Being canceled is crazy. We lost all of our work as of right now for the rest of the year. A large portion of our income has been this kind of family business on the internet, and sponsorship has been a big thing for us. And, the mob kind of won in that sense. We lost all of our work. And so processing everything has been just...
So they lost all of their work. So now they're back on YouTube to try and, regain some popularity with their longtime subscribers. And they are relying heavily on the internet's short-term memory. They're thinking that 2 months, maybe people will be bored of talking about it. People will be bored of, trying to cancel them. This is all holding people accountable. When you build your platform online and you come online with some BS like they did, people are going to hold you accountable. And that's just what it is. You want to put all your stuff out on YouTube, people are going to have an opinion about what is on YouTube. And when they announce that they put down their dog for quote unquote aggression issues, whatever it was, but the vlog footage showed otherwise, and the Humane Society said that you never contacted them. There were just too many pieces of proof to show otherwise, and that's why people were enraged.
And really, really difficult on so many different levels. And in that video, that was the other thing I realized, was in sharing all of those details, I was like, whoa, I'm still processing this. And in a lot of ways, like I said, I'll be processing it the rest of my life. Dan and I are people that want to learn. We want to learn from our mistakes. We want to continue to grow and change. And I can't stand here and be like, everything I've ever done, all decisions I've made have been the perfectly right ones at the right time. It's just not true. And, you know, I just want to continue to look back on my life and learn and grow. And so
is she admitting that putting Bowser down was a mistake, or is she talking about something else?
You know, it's just been, it's been so overwhelming, and to be perceived in such a large way, in a manner that is different than what your heart is. And then even to have like complete storylines retold in a way that just completely changes our motives, our intentions, and even the facts of the matter is crazy. And we all know it, right? We all look at the news. There's that joke of fake news. We all know that people lie in general. We all know the game of telephone, things get changed. But until you experience it, or at least for me, in such a large way, it's a trip. So a couple things I want to clarify.
I don't think that they were ever counting on people to look back at all that vlog footage and actually start to dig and try to figure out, like, you know, what is the additional context here? We have the announcement video that Nikki and Dan put out, but they've also been on YouTube forever. So I don't think that they ever imagined that people would dig through all of that vlog footage and, you know, try to piece together, you know, what was his overall demeanor through these hours of footage that has been published onto YouTube, and what role did Nikki and Dan play in that? You know, we saw the that one video clip where Dan is putting his food in Bowser's bowl and, like, you know, really agitating him, and he just seems to think that it's the best idea ever when it's actually a terrible idea. And I don't think that they were expecting even a fraction of what actually unfolded after their video came out.
That my family felt like I should address, because I don't really want to go back and address a whole lot, because we told the truth. Everything we said in that video was our truth and the truth. But two things. One, my parents felt like it was really important for me to clarify that we kind of downplayed the severity of what was happening with Bowser, not only through the course of his life and his aggressive tendencies. My dad was very concerned about Bowser and has been very concerned for a while. And one thing that I noticed that Dan and I unintentionally...
So if you're that concerned, then why was he to be trusted on the floor with your infant son? And why was he so unbothered when he was roaming around in the same room as your infant son and another dog? Because there's video evidence that shows that he was unbothered. Y'all can look back at any one of the vlogs and see, especially once they had their child, that Bowser was on a normal basis in the same room as the son, on the floor, roaming around. Bowser would walk right by the child and not care. If it was that much of a concern, where you feel like you're having to double down and now come back and give more information about how aggressive he was, that doesn't add up to me. Nope.
In that video specifically, was we almost kind of like protected Bowser and downplayed not only the events that happened at the end with Logan, but also kind of his whole life. And it was really weird evaluating that in retrospect and being like, man, you hear of this with people, right? Protecting people and kind of like not wanting people to know. But there was that feeling for us even while filming.
So this video was the truth. She just said that a couple seconds ago. The video that they put out was their truth. It was the truth. The truth. That's it. But now we're hearing that it was downplayed. It wasn't giving the full story. It wasn't giving the full scope of what his aggression was like with their child. So then it wasn't the whole truth. It wasn't the truth, because you were downplaying, and it sounds like not giving all of the facts. So it wasn't the truth.
That video, like this shame of not wanting to make Bowser appear like a bad guy, and because of that, it resulted in us dramatically downplaying the situation with Bowser accidentally. And so that's the first thing my family felt like I really needed to clarify that. And then the second thing that I debated saying, because I am not trying to get in like a receipts battle with people, like last thing I want to do, but there were mainstream media publications, which this shouldn't surprise me, like I said, because we've all seen it all over, but that told blatant lies. And one of the biggest blatant lies told about us, although there were many, was that we never had contact with the Humane Society, that we never talked to them. Like I said, I have pretty detailed proof of that, and I'm not trying to get into a receipt battle, like I said, but it is very weird. You get confused. You're like, which lies do I refute?
So she has detailed proof that she contacted the Humane Society, but she's not going to get into a receipts battle. If there is any time to present receipts, right now would be the time. This is supposed to be your I'm back video. And if there weren't receipts shown in that original video, and this is your I'm coming back video, you're still holding receipts. And if you have such solid proof that major news networks and publications and whatever were coming out with these lies and fabricated stories against you, now would be the time to show those receipts. But you don't want to get into a receipts battle. In my opinion, probably because the receipts don't exist. And on top of it, why would the Humane Society just come out and lie? They would have no reason to lie, in my opinion. Someone calls and asks, hey, have you talked to this couple? No. Why would they say no if they had? If there's a record of them talking to you, why would they blatantly say no? They have nothing to gain by saying no.
Clarify, and which ones do I let go? Because at the end of the day, people are going to talk, and people are going to disagree with your decisions no matter what decision you make. So on top of that, there were some publications that dipped into our adoption journey.
Yes, people will always disagree with your decision, and that is part of putting your life out onto YouTube. As soon as it's out onto YouTube, people will have comments on it. And if you don't want people to have comments on it, then it should stay off YouTube. Now, I'm not talking about situations that are leaked or, put out there when it was not your intention to have it be public. That's completely different. But if you sit down in front of the camera and you tell a story or you share a piece of your life or whatever, at that point, it is up for public opinion, period. It sucks and it's not always fair, but it is what it is.
And other stuff on our channel as well, but our adoption journey got pulled in, and once again, our motives, our heart, our mind, it was all completely twisted.
In my opinion, it wasn't really twisted. I watched their adoption videos. I didn't really focus on that too much, but when it comes to their adoption, they decided to not adopt from certain countries because they could not show the child on their YouTube channel. I don't really know what other details need to be provided around that to be able to form an opinion that your heart's not really in the right place if you're literally not going to adopt because you can't show the kid on your YouTube channel. What else is there? Give me another angle to look at that at.
took half-truths, which is already not a great place to start, and then twisted those half-truths, and then had the audacity to call us, leave us voice messages, texts, asking us to comment on these stories that they were running with. And my mind would just be blown, because I'm like, you're running with a half-truth lie of a story, and you want our...
How is it a half-truth lie? How does that make any sense? Y'all said it yourself. You chose to not adopt from certain countries because you couldn't put the child on video. Where's the other half of the story? It came out of your mouth on video. I've seen the whole videos from beginning to end.
Comment, like our comment is in the video that you took things out of context. Like we already said what we were going to say on our channel. Those of you, once again, that know us, that appreciate and love us, for lack of a better phrase, that have been following for all of these years, you already know all of this. But I felt like
your stans. So anyone who is a stan of Nikki and Dan and is blindly following them and nodding along and agreeing with anything and everything that they say or do, this is for you.
I had to kind of explain what happened because I disappeared, and I disappeared because of my mental health. Because when all of this happened, when it blew up on the internet, and you know, people came on our channel and our Instagram and were very upset and mobbed us, having people drag us through the mud in such a public way when 10 years on the internet, we've never had that happen. I've managed to kind of just like float along and make my videos and keep doing my thing. And so to have this has been...
But they made the decision to announce that they put down their dog, and people studied the fact pattern leading up to that decision, along with their announcement video saying what they did, and people didn't like it. I don't know what kind of response you expected. And now she wants to pull mental health into it and say that, you know, it was the mob mentality. I'm so tired of the mob mentality and this cancel culture vultures and all this kind of BS nonsense. Listen, if you come out with a public video, people are going to study the fact pattern leading up to this, you know, kind of pinnacle moment. And that's what they did with Nikki and Dan, and people did not like the facts that were laid out in prior vlogs. And people have their right to voice when, you know, an innocent animal is put down. They just do. Especially when you're in a position like Nikki and Dan, where there were so many other options available to them. They could have come to their subscribers and said, we need someone who is equipped and in a position that can help us with Bowser. We have, you know, we've exhausted our options to look at adoption, you know, agencies that deal with aggressive dogs. Like, there could have been so many other options, and that's why people were pissed off. It's not the, you know, fact that, oh, well, this is what the decision came to. It's the fact that there were so many other things that could have been done before making this final decision.
And an adjustment period for sure. I spent a few weeks thinking, I'm quitting, I'm never coming back, I'm done. And a lot of things happened that changed my mind. I'm not going to talk about that now. And even still, you know, there's so much I want to talk about, and I talked about a lot of it in the 1.5 hour long video. But what I realized about that was the timing. My heart wasn't ready to talk about a lot of those things. I may never share a lot of my thoughts around all of this and the details around what it's been like to be canceled. But I might one day. I might do it in retrospect. But right now, I couldn't. You know, I'm still like recovering from the trauma of getting death threats and having to get the police involved. And one thing I realized after...
Okay, listen, that's one thing that I will say. I'm going to interject here. And, you know, I've always said this. No matter who it is on YouTube, there are a lot of YouTubers that do a lot of dumb stuff, a lot of problematic stuff, a lot of stuff that is talked about on commentary channels and drama channels, and everyone's sharing their opinion, and you know, sometimes things do go a little bit off the rails, but I will always stand firm on the fact that nobody should be getting threats. Nobody should be, you know, harassed or have people show up at their private residence. There are several things in that umbrella where it's just like you are stepping way out of bounds. We can all have our opinions and we can talk about it, you know, 3 times a day and share opinions and go on Reddit and all these different, go on Instagram and talk. But there should never be a reason that a YouTuber is getting threats, harassed, stalked, DOX, you know, none of those things. I'll never agree with that. Even with Nikki and Dan, even with people like Micah Stauffer, those kinds of things, just, they don't do anything to make someone, you know, become accountable or want to come and apologize. It's only going to scare them, and it's not going to do anything positive for the situation. So if that's in fact what really happened, I completely disagree with it. I think that Nikki and Dan are not very good people based on what I know. But that level of, you know, feeling like you have to be scared in your own home is way out of bounds. It's way out of line, and I'll never agree with it.
After watching that video was like, hey, you know, whatever I say in this one video, it doesn't fully matter because I'm not going to be able to please everyone. So no matter how many times I practice, someone's going to be mad with something I say because that's just how it is, right? But B, I just realized,
if we want to talk about timelines real quick, you know, just my personal opinion, obviously, for her to come back in 2 months, I don't think that it was really long enough to self-reflect and really think about, you know, kind of that video that her and Dan did, and actually step back and absorb why people were so upset and why people were so enraged. I just don't think that this short period of time was long enough to do any kind of work on yourself. And that's why I also think that her coming back is, you know, money. It usually comes down to money. When a YouTuber screws up like that and they come back in a short period of time, it's because they need money. They need to start, you know, generating revenue again. And I do think that that's what's happening here.
I'm coming back. That's what I'm doing right now. And I have time later to make as many videos about as many different things as I feel like making. And so I didn't have to make this the video of all videos, like stating my opinions and defending myself, because it just started to feel like this overwhelming burden of something I wasn't gonna do. And I just want to break the silence, and I wanted to explain that I was gone for my mental health, for the safety of my mental health, Dan's mental health, our child's mental health, our family's mental health, and really reestablishing our life here. I guess I should just break the news. We moved, like I said, and we ended up moving to Idaho. So it is so beautiful here. It's absolutely insane. You guys will hear more info. You'll see more. We are currently living in my parents' basement, which is amazing and very hard at the same time. So we're rebuilding our life. Dan is starting to dip into the community with different work that he's done in the past with welding and inspecting and all of that. And that's good. He had already been on that path. He had retaken his inspector's exam about 1.5 years ago. So he was already going that direction. But he's really going that direction even, you know, more so now with this move to this town, and then obviously being canceled. And this has been our main source of income for the last 8 years. As a generalization, someone said to me in a message, hey, I don't know how to word this to you without making you feel bad, but they're like, those of us that support you can only do so much. At a certain point, it takes the canceled choosing to not be canceled.
So they feel like they were canceled. They're talking about revenue. Obviously, YouTube was their full-time, income way of making money. And they need money again. So Dan's out working. Nikki wants to fire up YouTube again. But it really just, if you want to say that they were canceled, say that they were canceled. But I feel like we overuse the word canceled so much in this day and age. What happened with Nikki and Dan was they made a very poor decision, and the internet saw it for what it was, a poor decision. The internet decided to dig deeper and expose kind of what what the video catalog was leading up to that point, because Bowser had been in so many of their videos, and the opinions continued to be shared. And they were holding, the internet holds people accountable. That's what happened with them. It is what it is.
And I just thought, man, I don't want to be canceled at this point. And so many people said almost that exact same sentence to me in person and online. And it was like, okay, so then it's my choice to walk back in, our choice, you get the point, to walk back in. And so that's what I'm doing today. So I want to keep making videos. I would still like this to be a part of my job that makes day-to-day and time divvying and all of that a little bit easier. It makes more sense for us.
She has gotten very comfortable by working for, herself, essentially running a YouTube channel, and she doesn't want to go back into the workforce. That is essentially exactly what's going on here. And, more power to her. If she can make a comeback and have people actually care about what she has to say, fine. But for most people, especially when you're dealing with a situation like this, where, an animal's life was lost because of a very selfish decision that they made, I don't know that a lot of people are going to be welcoming her back with open arms.
This has been jarring, as you could imagine. So here's where we're at now. I'm going to be turning off comments for the time being on everything. YouTube, Instagram, everywhere, because a lot of the comments that were directed at us were vile, disgusting, horrible comments. A lot of them were directed at our son. And so we're not going to have that. So we're going to have comments off for the time being. And I'm actually going to be restarting Patreon. Now, I don't know what that's going to look like. A big reason for that is because I kind of want to decide with you guys. I have ideas, but I'm not sure, A, what I can handle, B, what's going to even make financial sense. So what I'm going to be doing on Patreon is I'm going to be uploading all of the videos that I put on YouTube to Patreon as well, and that is where comments will be left on. So if
you're a stan or part of her little echo chamber, you can pay a convenient little monthly fee and you can leave your little comment over on her Patreon.
Engaging in comments with me, that's where I'm going to be checking the community with other people on the channel within the community. If that's something that you like, that will be available, but only on Patreon for the time being.
Imagine paying somebody to be able to leave a comment. No.
Or if you don't care and you just want to throw a dime in our bucket or whatever, not literally dime, whatever amount you want to throw, and you want to support us, obviously that's beyond appreciated. We're kind of just stepping forward. Patreon is something I've dabbled in before, but in the past it wasn't, I don't know, I was working with sponsors so much and you only have so much time in the day. And now, considering the era that we've walked into within this last year and a half, we know that a lot of language is being censored, and I think it just makes sense to continue or to move forward in investing time in that community. Two quick things before I go that I just want to say. One, thank you. I feel like I have to look in the camera and tell you thank you to every single one of you that reached out to us in the midst of all of this. even if you haven't gotten a reply from me, I mean, I might not have seen it because I'm not kidding. I actually haven't even been able to keep up with the amount of kind messages we've received. Or if you saw, I saw it, or I just double tapped it. But just know, seriously, how much those kind words meant. They were like aloe on a sunburn. That's really corny, but it was so painful. And so I just wanted to publicly say thank you. You know, my mom said a couple times, she's like, there's lots of people that I like support or agree with or see bad things happening to them, and I don't go out of my way to message them. So the fact that this came in droves, just like, it's overwhelming in a whole other way. You know that the second thing literally just floated away in my head like a balloon? Do you guys ever have thoughts and it's like you just let the balloon go and it just floats away and you're like, no, I don't remember the second thing. All I know is I'm really, God is good, and I'm really grateful to have my parents, who are also so good, giving us this place to land, letting us live with them, loving on my baby, our baby, and getting to be with them during this transitional season. I don't even know. I think that's it. I'm feeling really paranoid about all the things that I didn't say. Even my tone, because that's the other weird thing. When you got like the body language experts coming at you, and you know, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm the most disingenuous sounding person ever, because this is, it's whatever. We don't need to repeat it. It's my personality. This has been a trip, crazy. So I feel weird ending this. And like, I've forgotten things, like there's a bunch of things I should have said, but I don't know that I would ever feel satisfied with this video. And honestly, I'm over it. Everything in me wanted to ignore this and just like come back and be sharing like what I fed Logan today. I know I couldn't do that, not only because it's awkward, I just disappeared for 2 months, but also because I know that it was the elephant in the room. Like, I know so many of you were like, wait, I'm sorry, excuse me, when we were on the cover of Fox News, like, it was so crazy. So all of that being said, I am gonna end this now. I'm gonna go. There are so many more things I can say, and I possibly will say in the future, in upcoming videos, potentially in podcasts. Dan just walked by with Logan in his stroller. So I'm actually gonna end this now and hop out and go get some fresh air in beautiful Idaho, which I can't wait to share with you guys, because this place is like a little slice of heaven on earth, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Stop talking, Nikki. I will see you guys soon. I will link my Patreon below, and I'll see you guys over on Patreon soon, because I'm gonna check in with you guys there soon, probably do a live stream and just start chatting about like, what do we want to do over there? What would be helpful and encouraging. So that's it. All right, bye guys.
So Patreon is the answer to her problems, and if you want to engage or leave a comment, you need to pay an entry fee, is the gist of where her content is going. You know, I've always had a big problem with YouTubers cutting their comments section off. I think that it is a big FU to the subscribers that built that channel. If there are certain comments that you're getting that are so vile and so mean, that's why there are blocked words. But you also might have people that are animal lovers and fellow dog owners who are enraged by this, and they are still not done being upset. And if you don't allow them to have comments on your channel, they're gonna go somewhere else, and I'll guarantee there's gonna be a whole bunch of them in my comment section. So either way, Nikki and Dan are back. You know, they obviously funds are dried up, and they need to make a comeback. So you know, I can't understand how you can look into the camera and say, I've grown, and you know, I've taken this time to journal and pray and do all this kind of stuff. It's been 2 months. So it hasn't been that long, and that was a pretty big bombshell to drop on your audience. But again, I also think that they never expected that video to be met with the amount of follow-up that it was. And I don't think that they ever imagined people would be contacting the Humane Society or veterinarians making videos on it, or the body language expert making a video on it. That was definitely not expected, but Welcome to the internet, where when you put stuff on the internet, people are going to have an opinion on it. And like I said, if you don't want people to have an opinion about it, then keep it offline. That's the best way to control what people have an opinion on, because if they're putting an opinion out there on something that was never said or never published, then they're spreading conspiracy theories. I'm a little tongue-tied. So either way, those are my thoughts on this for now. We'll see what happens in the future. You know, no, I will never pay for her Patreon. I think Patreon, you know, don't stop putting a paywall in front of, you know, being able to leave a comment or talk to your favorite YouTuber. Like, no, that's BS. It's nonsense and it's a scam. So, you know, I like Patreon, but don't make it where it's like, oh, well, if you want to, you know, be acknowledged by me, then you have to go to Patreon. No, that's BS. So either way, for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.